All right, we're live. Welcome to the House of Horrors, everybody. I'm here with Jeff Kirkendall,
Hi,
and
nice to meet you.
going to be asking him some questions. And whenever people get here, if they have any questions for you as well, they'll just type them on the side there. So I'll just give it a minute or two before people pop in. So, but how's your week been?
Going well, going well. How about you?
Just been working, and there might be a hurricane coming. I don't know if you heard here in Florida by Wednesday, so I don't know. Hopefully that'll be okay. I won't lose power. We'll see.
Right,
Um,
right.
not much going on. I watched Great White, Fear Street, that was on Netflix. So just working and movie watching. That's about it.
Yep, same here. I've been watching the Children of the Corn movies. A friend of mine got me the whole collection on DVD, and I'm up to number. I just watched number 666 last night.
666. I like that because the original Isaac from the first one, he was in it. I can't think of his name offhand right now.
Yeah,
Um,
yes.
oh, what is it? What's his name in real life? I forget.
I maybe his last name, the actor's name is Martin. Could it be? Or am I thinking of one of the characters? He
Might
looked
be
the
thinking
same
one of the
though.
characters. Yeah, but he played Isaac in the original one or whatever. Yeah, Isaac. So
Yeah, he looked exactly the same.
he does. Yeah, he was at a Texas Frightmare weekend years back, and it looked exactly the same. Like he doesn't
Right.
age at all. So, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead. Oops, looks like someone came in. Hello, welcome whoever's here. Just let us know in the comments. And I guess I'll go ahead and just start asking you some questions. And when people pop in, so
Right.
they'll be watching the replay. Anyway, I've been getting more hits on the replays than during the show. So,
Oh, right, right.
so my first question for you is: at what age did you know you wanted to write and act, and who was your inspiration?
I think I first had the idea of acting when I was in college. I was taking communications in college back in the mid 1990s. And I just thought to myself one day, I wonder if I could do this, act in movies, because I was always a big movie fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was taking communications and I got to take some video production courses. And so I started to learn a bit about the production side of it. And at the same time, I started taking acting classes because I knew I needed some kind of training because I hadn't done anything like that before. And I was actually quite introverted. So I needed something to, develop those skills. So I was taking acting classes, theater classes, basically, was what they were, and I took those for maybe about 10 years or so, and then I continued with the video production and got to know some of the local filmmakers in the area, and everything just kind of came together at the same, converged basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you said in college. I was gonna say in high school, were you in any drama clubs or film? But in college, was there any show or anything that you acted in? Any plays or just film class or acting or what you?
We did some plays as part of the theater classes. We would do a performance at the end of the class. We would work on a scene from a play and then perform live in front of usually it was friends and family members of the people who were taking the class. So it was kind of a performance night. So I did some of that. That was pretty exciting. And I knew a lot of I got to know some friends that were really theater people. They had done a lot of plays and that type of thing. So I was around that atmosphere for quite a while.
All right. And let's see. After you graduated, did you always? Well, you sort of answered that with acting in college. But did you consider any other path? You say you were in communications, but then you started acting. Was there like something prior that you thought would end up as your career?
Well, I have a degree in education. I had that degree before the communications, and that was kind of for school counseling, that type of thing, working with college students. But then I did graduate with that degree, but then I got interested in the communications program and kind of veered away from that and went in the direction I went in. So I did have some other interests before. It was kind of one of those things where I was in college a lot and tried some different things. Stayed for a while and then finally settled on this path.
Right. We got PVD of horror. Josh just came in. So seeing if Josh, you got any questions before I continue? All right. Well, I'll let him type any if he's got there. Um, let's see. When did you meet the Polonies, and what was your first film with them?
I met Mark Polonia in 2011. A couple friends and I were putting together film festivals in Albany for several years. We had a lot of film screenings, independent film festivals for movies that were produced in the area, some that I was involved in, and some for other filmmakers. And we would show movies at the New York State Museum in Albany because it's in the same building where I work. And so we would put these events together, and we were trying to come up with an event in 2011. We had done a lot of the local stuff, and my friend Bruce Hallenbeck, who's a filmmaker and a writer, suggested we put together a film festival for a filmmaker named Brett Piper from Pennsylvania. He had corresponded with Brett since he was a child, but they had never met. So I thought it was a good idea, and we put together a festival. It was called the Muckman Movie Festival because Brett had produced a movie called Muckman, a monster film.
Hmm.
And so Brett was going to come to Pennsylvania from Pennsylvania to Albany for the festival. And he emailed me before the festival thanking me for putting it together. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to bring my producer friend Mark Polonia along with me because Mark had produced Muckman. He had been a producer on Muckman." So Brett and Mark and his son Anthony came to Albany that day, and I got to hang out with them for most of the day. And Mark and I hit it off well. We found that we had a lot in common. We had both produced independent movies and had kind of similar experiences, and we talked a lot. And we decided we'd stay in contact after that, and we did. And the following summer, that would be the summer of 2012, he said, "Hey, would you like to come to Pennsylvania to act in a movie that I'm producing?" It was a sci-fi movie called Empire of the Apes. So I headed to Pennsylvania that summer. It was a fun experience. And then in the fall, he was doing another movie, a slasher film called Camp Blood 3. It was called Camp Blood 3 at the time. It later was titled Camp Blood First Slaughter. So I went down again, worked on that, and acted in that. And after that, Mark and I, we stayed friends, and he kept inviting me down for movies. And now it's like over 10 years later, and I've done close to 30 movies for Mark, and we keep working together. We produced one together last in 2019, actually.
And Josh said that he loves Sharkenstein. How was it filming that?
Oh, Sharkenstein. I think it's Sharkenstein.
Or
Sharkenstein.
Sharkenstein. I'm sorry, Sharkenstein. It's kind of like Sharkenstein. It's a distant cousin, you know.
Yeah, there's that joke there. But that was really interesting because that was real crazy. I had a real crazy character. He was kind of a mad scientist character, and crazy story. The character's name was Klaus, and he's putting the brain and heart of Frankenstein's monster into this shark to make this super shark, and he's kind of this German Nazi wannabe type scientist. And I had to do kind of a German accent, and the performance wound up being really over the top, and the whole movie is kind of over the top. It's campy and fun, and we shot some scenes on the water by the dock, and there was a lot of that type of thing. And it was pretty wild, pretty fun time making that one.
Um, on that set or any other, are there any jokesters on the set, or you just try to take it seriously and get everything done on time?
Oh, we have a lot of fun working on Mark's movies. It's a combination of working with people that you like, and we have a lot of fun. We joke around, but we also work really hard, and we'll start early in the morning and shoot until early evening. Usually, say it's a 3 or 4 day schedule. We'll shoot heavy the first few days and then light the last couple of days. Or kind of front loads his movies. But yeah, we have a great time working together. A lot of joking around, but we keep moving and do a lot of work. And so usually at the end of each filming day, I'm really exhausted, but it's a good kind of exhausted. It's a it's a good feeling. We got a lot done. We had fun at the same time, and yeah, it's both, you know, hard filmmaking work, and but when you're working on something you like and with people you like, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've noticed there's a lot of the same actors in your movies that you work with and everything. So I guess it's always best to work with who you know to, complete the project and everything. Um, so with them, do you have a favorite project of theirs you worked on?
I have a couple of favorite roles. Sharkenstein is one of them. Probably my favorite is Jurassic Prey. I really like the character in that one. That was just a few films in, maybe fourth film, fifth film, somewhere around there. I really liked the character. Was a washed-up child star who, with a couple of buddies, robs. They're down on their luck and they rob a bank, and they take this woman hostage, and they all go to this cabin, and then there's this giant dinosaur that's terrorizing the area. We got to shoot at this cabin location by a lake, and it was a really good cast, and I really just kind of related to the character, and it was a fun character and just a good time. That's probably one of my favorite roles still to this day.
That's
So
right. I actually, as I was saying earlier, I just watched that today for the first
okay.
time, and that was fun. I enjoyed it. I like the line where he said, "I've been in a bunch of movies people don't know about."
I know.
That's probably true. That's
Exactly.
why I'm here, spreading the word too. But yeah, so,
I appreciate it.
so,
That's a
uh,
fun one. That one's been released in several countries, actually. I'm surprised at how far that one's gone. I mean, it's yeah, people still talk about that one. So it was a fun movie.
mhm. How now that dinosaur was there some that was like a prop and some computerized and some was like an actual built prop on that or
Yes, it was a combination of several things. There's some shots where you see the dinosaur's legs; those are kind of puppet legs. And then there was I believe there was an actual puppet head for the dinosaur. And then there are other scenes where it's computer generated. So you have some different looks going on in the movie. I think Mark worked on that. Brett Piper works on some of those kind of things on some movies, but I think Mark did that one. I think Mark did most of the effects work on Jurassic Prey.
okay. Yeah, I noticed that like with the feet and stuff kind of looked more practical, but then there were certain spots of the movie. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I liked it. Uh, oh gosh. Josh said Bigfoot versus zombies and go.
Bigfoot versus zombies. Yes, that was another fun one too. That was, that's kind of a crazy title. In that one, I played kind of a despicable scientist character. I tend to I've tended to get a lot of those characters, those like not unlikable scientist or a bad guy type character in movies. And in that movie, they're at this body farm where they break down bodies for medical students, and he develops a serum that's supposed to break down the bodies faster. But of course, anything that can go wrong goes wrong, and it reanimates the bodies into zombies. And then Bigfoot's roaming around the area, and there are some fight scenes with Bigfoot and the zombies. And my character does a lot of continually despicable things, and
Yeah.
that was a hoot to work on. That was a lot of fun, and good. It was good stuff.
Yeah. Welcome, Patrick. How's it going tonight?
Good, good. What have I missed?
Not too much. He just gave a little brief history of his acting career, and then we were talking about Jurassic Prey, and now Bigfoot versus zombies had come up.
Did someone say Bigfoot versus zombies? Oh. Oh my God.
Yes. I don't know if you
Oh.
saw my review on that or not, but sorry. But
I'm thinking by your reaction,
Oh.
Patrick has seen that movie.
Oh. We okay, all right. Hi, I'm Patrick, Jeff. Nice meeting you. Bigfoot versus Zombie is just like a lot of the fun low budget movies.
yeah,
We love to love it. We love to have fun with it.
yeah,
In all seriousness, though, the cover for that movie is the best cover I think I've seen in any movie. That cover, I actually contacted Rob from Wild Eye, and I asked him, "You guys need to make a poster of that, because if you did, I'd be the first one there to throw money at it, because that poster is absolutely insane."
yeah.
Uh,
Wild Eye does some great artwork for their releases. They really do. I'm always looking forward eagerly when I know a movie's coming out that I was in for Wild Eye's poster image. I'm always on the edge of my seat to see what they'll do because whoever they have doing their artwork is really amazing stuff.
Now, I found out that your character in that movie is the same character in other Mark Polonia movies. He's carried you from movie to movie as the same character, right? Or is that somebody else?
You might be thinking of another Doctor character. The name of the character in that one was Dr. Peel, and as I was saying, he was kind of this despicable doctor type. But I played a bunch of those type of characters, like we were discussing Sharkenstein, and the Klaus character is kind of another evil doctor type. So you may be thinking of someone else, but I have the one character that I have done that carries forward is I was in a movie called Amityville Exorcism for Ploney Brothers, and Wild Eye released that one. And I've had a character that was a priest, Father Benna, and that movie did really well. So a lot of people were kind of familiar with that. But I've done 2 more movies with Father Benna that haven't been released yet, so that's going to be continuing character.
Okay, so how did you, if you don't mind me asking, but how did you meet the Polonia brothers?
Well, he asked before, but I met
Mark.
Okay. I met Mark Polonia at a film festival in Albany in 2011. I'm from Albany, New York, and he came down to Albany for a film festival. We met there,
and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. It was fateful. It was a fateful day.
Oh yeah. Bigfoot versus zombie. Wow, that's just an epic movie. I actually turned Steven onto that movie.
Yep. It's like, look at the cover art. It's great. So I'm like, all right, I'll review it.
Yeah. I said, you know what? Let me turn this on to one of the more interesting movies I've seen, and let's share the love. And I said the cover is badass. Has zombies in it. Has Bigfoot in it, though. Bigfoot needed steroids. Bigfoot was more like little Toefoot. I mean, he was very small. Okay, so obviously you guys play this for laughs, right? But I do have a serious question I need to ask you, because I know, like I said, I didn't hear the story about you and Mark and whatnot. I just want to know this going in is what's more important to you, to make a movie. Let's say you have $1,000 budget, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, as an actor, I mean, the same as a director or producer, as an actor, would it be more prudent that, yes, you have $1,000 here, you can spend it on and make a movie, or would it be prudent for you to wait 3 or 4 months, try to raise another $1,000 to make your movie even a little bit better? Because that seems to be like, as far as for me, I mean, I love the fun and the spirit of Mark's movies. I mean, they're bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? They're just, you just gotta love them. You can't. If you're sitting over there and you're raising hell and noshing a 9 over a Mark Polonia movie, then you're in the wrong business. But to me though, this is a serious question for me. It's like, but what would happen if someone like Mark took and waited his time instead of spending $1,000 because he has it? Wouldn't it be better for him to wait for 4 or 5 months to raise the extra $1,000, invest just a little bit more money into his movie to make it just that much better?
That is a good question. That's I guess the best way to answer that is Mark simply doesn't operate that way.
No.
I mean, today you see a lot of the fundraising, the Kickstarters, the GoFundMe's, all that type of thing, and that does seem to be the norm. People are raising, a lot of money on these films, and of course, when you do that, it does take a while. It takes much longer to get a project off the ground, and I have no problem at all with that. But that's not how Mark operates. He cranks out movies because he just likes making movies. That's his thing. He likes producing movies, and he would never wait. And even before I met Mark, I produced a few of my own films, and I used my own funds, say $1,000 or something like that, and that's kind of how I did it. So it's hard for me to answer that because that hasn't been my experience or Mark's experience. But I have no problem with that type of thing. But the one thing I would say is over the years, I have seen a lot of projects that have been discussed and people have raised money and lots of time has gone by and they haven't come to fruition. And I guess if I had to, make a definitive choice between the two, I like the immediate. I like that,
Mhm.
Mark contacts me about a movie. We're going to shoot it in a month and it it happens. It gets finished. It gets released. So I guess that's what I'm used to. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just really believe it. I really believe the project suffers from it, though. I mean,
Right.
you look at a Bigfoot versus zombies, and you think that, wow, these guys just would have had an extra $1,000, an extra $1,500. This actually could have really worked out pretty well,
Hmm.
but it just seems so just absolutely threadbare. It's like, and you sort of, as a fan, you sort of just lament the fact that if you just had only waited just a little bit longer instead of just shooting when you got the money. I just that's how I look at it. I mean, I look at the premise, I look at the concept, and I'm looking at, like, I know you guys don't have a lot of money. A lot of the filmmakers don't have a lot of money, but you do got time. I mean, there's no reason why just to I got $1,000. Let's go run out there and make a movie. It's just like, if it took you 3 months to raise that $1,000, what's it going to hurt to wait another 3 months to raise another 1,000? And then to me, the return of that investment and the return of that time, it's a much better movie, much better reviews, and more importantly, much better sales.
No, I certainly see. I understand your point. I'm not really debating your point at all. I guess, yeah, I see what you're saying, and there really isn't a yes or no or right or wrong on it. I guess, like I said, a lot of filmmakers do seem to be raising a lot of money today, and God bless them for that. And if it works out, that's great. Again, all I can say is it hasn't been my experience. I guess maybe Mark and I do fall out of the norm a little bit, as compared to today's environment with the Kickstarters and the GoFundmes and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a difficult question to answer. There's really no. I see your point, and I said what I said about it. So
Right, right, no problem. Uh, yeah, I mean, thank you for your answer. I mean, it's an honest one, and I appreciate that and respect you for it. Um, yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
All right. I was going to mention Return to Splatter Farm. You wrote, directed, and acted in it. Were you a fan of the first one? Did they come to you to write the sequel, or did you approach them about it?
I had seen the original movie, and I thought it was really an interesting film. I really admired what Mark and his brother John did for producing a movie at 17 when they were 17 years old, and for making something that was so unique and kind of in your face. And it's a movie you don't forget after you've seen it. Basically, is the way I can describe it. And so I had some ideas about for a sequel. I had been thinking about some ideas. I said, this is really an iconic cult film, and I wonder what I would do with the sequel. I came up with some ideas, and I remember it was probably either 2016 or 2017. We were on the set of Amityville Exorcism. We were on a break, and I said to Mark, "Would you ever consider making a sequel to Splatter Farm?" And he said, "Yes, I would." And he threw out some ideas, and I just said, that's interesting. I didn't say anything about it. A lot of his ideas that he threw out were kind of similar to what I had in mind. So after I got back from the shoot, I started writing, and within a couple of months, I had the script. I emailed Mark and said, "Hey, I wrote a Splatter Farm sequel. Would you like to see it?" He said yes, and he liked it a lot. And he said, "We're definitely going to do this." And we were able to do it a couple of years later in 2019. We produced that in the summer of 2019, and that was the first one we kind of collaborated on as co-producers, co-directors on. Prior to that, I had acted in uh, a lot of Mark's movies, and he had helped me finish one of my own features. and did a little cameo. But this was the first one where we really produced it together, and got all the cast and everything. And yeah, that was a real good experience. And we've had a lot of success with that one, with reviews, and I think it's done pretty well. So yeah, I was really happy with that one.
That one definitely one of my favorites of yours. I really enjoy that one. That was great. Do you enjoy being the killer or the victim more often?
I think the bad guy roles are a lot of fun. It's I have met my doom in a lot of Mark's movies, so I'm used to that. And sometimes it is the bad guy that gets killed at the end, but the bad guy roles are a lot of fun. I got to do a movie not too long ago called Camp Murder, where I play the mass killer. And unlike a lot of the movies that I do for Mark, where I have reams and reams of dialogue, that one I just had one sentence, and the rest of it was the mask and the silent machete killer. And I really enjoyed that one because I'm a big fan of slasher films, and I had done a bunch of Camp Blood movies, but I had never been the killer before. So that was a lot of fun, and I do really enjoy the bad guy parts. And even a character like Dr. Peel in Bigfoot versus Zombies, you're just a jerk to everybody to constantly. The character everybody wants to hate, and it is kind of fun. You can kind of let loose, whereas you say things you wouldn't say in normal life, and of course, those characters always, perish at the end.
And what was your favorite kill?
You mean a
That's
character of mine?
in the movie, the character, yeah, your favorite victim. What was your favorite kill scene to do?
Oh, let's see now. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Well, I remember in Bigfoot versus Zombies, that was kind of a fun one. It was kind of, we did that one. Peel gets killed gets ripped apart by the zombies. So we did it we did it in two shots. There was a shot with the zombie kind of converging on me, and I'm kind of cowering, and then we do it the actual kill in the cutaway. I was laying on the floor of a barn, and Mark had the Bigfoot arms, and he was kind of reaching in, and he put blood streaks all over my face and in the mouth, and I'm kind of like going like this, real sissy, like, and the arms are reaching in, and kind of tearing. That was kind of fun. It's a lot of screaming. I've done a bunch of those where it's a lot of being ripped apart, screaming at supposedly you're getting your guts ripped out and so forth. So that was kind of interesting. We did something like that in Amityville Island also, where a zombie rips me apart. That was another despicable doctor character, very similar to Dr. Peel. That's what you may have been thinking of, actually.
Yeah, you played Dr. Orman, I think, if I remember right, in Amityville Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a different movie for sure, wasn't it? I was, another awesome cover, and then you guys did you guys had like a lot of interesting choices you made in that movie. Seemed like a lot of homages to a lot of different types of movies. I thought it was pretty creative, actually. Now, do you guys improv some of your actions in those movies? Like if you come up with an idea and you go to Mark, you say, listen, can I play it this way, or does he pretty much go with basically what was on the paper? I mean, the script wise.
He does tend to follow the script pretty closely, but he's always very open to actor suggestions. I think it's kind of a combination of both. So that usually works out pretty well. He's open to suggestions, and we're not all over the place. We do follow the script, so it's kind of a nice balance between the two, I think. And Amityville Island was kind of interesting. That had a very interesting plot for an Amityville movie. It was a little bit different because you started with the Amityville curse, and then these female prisoners get brought to this island where they're doing fertility experiments, and that's where my doctor character came in. He was probably one of the worst, of the characters, because he has a line where he says something like "total disregard for human test subject is a good thing," that type of thing. So that's where that was coming from. But yeah, it was really interesting though. Interesting movie. So
What do you find more challenging, the writing, directing, or acting?
I think directing a movie is probably the most challenging because you're dealing with a lot of different elements at the same time. Whereas writing, you're sitting at home yourself doing it. It's a sole experience. And acting, you kind of only need to focus on your one character, on your part of your piece of the puzzle. Whereas directing, especially with these low budget movies, you're orchestrating a lot of different parts at once. You're working with cast, you're working with the effects, you're working with locations, travel, all that kind of thing. So I found acting and writing are a little bit easier um, because when I've produced and directed some of my own stuff, there's a lot of moving parts, and I see that in Mark's movies too.
Is there anyone that you haven't worked with yet that you would like to?
Hmm. Um, are you talking? You're talking like Hollywood people or something like
Well,
that?
Hollywood, or even anyone maybe from another Wild Eye movie, if not Hollywood, but either or. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot you probably wouldn't mind working with.
Personally, I'm waiting for the Brett Kelly, Mark Polonia co-directing epic.
Okay, that yeah, he seems like an interesting director as well. Yes,
Yeah. Yes.
yes. So
And he also has like a when you and Mark did when you guys co-directed Return to Splatter Farm, which I hear is actually very, very good. I'm looking for a copy of that actually. I heard it was I heard it was outstanding actually
Yes.
from so um how, I mean, I know that you said you guys co-directed on that, and I'm wondering how does that work for you guys? I mean, how did that? I mean, did you guys sit down and did you guys storyboard it or?
no, we didn't storyboard. Mark was doing Mark and another person were doing camera work on that. Mark usually shoots his own movies, like, although occasionally he'll have a camera person. Like for example, Bigfoot versus Zombies was kind of an exception where he had a director of photography, so he just directed. But most of the time he shoots. And then on Return to Splatter Farm, he was filming and he had another person running camera. And we would do is set up a shot. He would kind of set up the shot, and then he'd consult with me about it, and we'd kind of agree on each step going forward. So that's kind of how that collaborative process worked on that one.
Yeah, I'd just like to see. I mean, you don't see too many co-directors, so you always wonder how it works. Does one person handle the dialogue? Does the other person handle the outside shooting, the action scenes, that sort of thing?
Well, that one maybe was a little different because a lot of the scripts from Mark's movies are ones that he's written or maybe an outside writer has written that is not going to be on set. But this was a script that I wrote, so I was kind of the most familiar with the dialogue and the scenes. So it helped with the collaborative process because, as I said, Mark was setting up the shots, and we could the technical part of it, and we could collaborate on the scenes and the dialogue and so forth. So I think it all kind of just fell together with that movie. It was a really good experience, and I'm hoping we get to do another one like that. So,
Do you think there might be a third Splatter Farm you might have an idea for, or that'll be it for now?
hmm. Well, I don't have another idea right now. I know it's already been discussed. Occasionally, it's come up. Mark has a couple notions as to where he'd like to go if he did another one, but yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if there'll be interest or I could. My guess would be some outside party would come to him to push an idea for a third Splatter Farm if it were to happen. That's what I think. So,
How did you like working with Mark's son on Zillafoot?
oh, that was a lot. That was a lot of fun. That was a fun experience. Anthony is a very creative young guy. He's a bit his ideas are very different than Mark's. If you've seen Zillafoot, it's kind of an homage to Bigfoot and the Toho movies and that type of thing. We shot some of that in Pennsylvania, and we actually drove back to New York, central New York, to shoot some of that. And that was interesting because Mark will usually have all the locations locked down, and he's very precise with everything. Everything's been scheduled out, and everything's very, very precise. When we did Zillafoot, myself and a couple of the other actors, we drove into New York with Anthony. It was kind of like some run and gun filmmaking. We would find places to try to shoot. We actually got kicked out of a place, and we were doing a lot of running around different areas where we could try to get those scenes in without being detected, so forth. So that was
a little bowfinger action, huh?
yes, 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 it was. That one was. So that was pretty wild, that shoot. Zillafoot was different.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I saw that. I know that Mark's movies, because obviously it's obvious that him and Rob have a real life friendship. I think he has real life friendship with Brett as well. I think you two guys. I think Mark and Brett are the only probably two in-house that Wild Eye produces. I mean, like, did they produce? Did they produce Splatter Farm for you?
Usually, Mark, like you said, Mark and Rob from Wild Eye have a good relationship. I know that, and I only know Mark. I only know Rob from via email. We've talked a few times briefly, but Mark knows him really well, so he actually talks to him on the phone and so forth. But Mark will. So Rob, the way I understand it is, Rob will come up with ideas, a general idea for a movie, and then he'll say, "Mark, you come up with a script." Mark will bang out a script, and Return to Splatter Farm wasn't like that because that was our idea. Rob hadn't asked for anything like that, so we went ahead and produced that movie. Usually, Mark's movies, are set up for Wild Eye, but we went ahead and produced Return to Splatter Farm, and then Mark pitched it to Wild Eye, and they took it. So that was a little different too, because we just kind of went on our own and made that movie without having a distributor locked down ahead of time.
Yeah, I was only mentioning it because Anthony, his movie Zillafoot was actually released by SRS.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering. Was it because Rob wanted to see what he would do first, see how he handled it, or I was just wondering why if Wild I was going to get behind him and produce some of his movies as well, try to keep it in the family, so to speak.
Well, I know Mark does a lot of movies for Wild Eye, but he's produced some for SRS, like you said, and he's done quite a few movies for Sterling Entertainment, David Sterling also. Those are, and he's done some for Mike Razzo at Pop Cinema as well. Wild Eyes, it seems, from what I've seen, Wild Eye seems to be the most. But he's done a lot for Dave. Probably Dave Sterling is close too. He's done a lot for Dave, and also like SRS and other people as well. So he seems to have really good relationships with several distributors. So that's a plus too.
I know before we set up tonight that you were saying that you were out filming. Is it anything you can talk about, or is it still under wraps right now?
I'm not technically supposed to say the names of the Wild Eye movies.
Okay.
That's why my post always says, "I just returned from Pennsylvania. It was a good time. I can't."
Right. I mean, I know sometimes you might be able to say sometimes not, so that's okay. But another question about filming since COVID hit and everything. How has that affected your filming, and has there been anything that was postponed due to it?
Well, Mark offered me a few films during the pandemic, and I did, if I remember, I did have to turn a couple down. Yeah, I told Mark, just for safety reasons, I better not do it. But then luckily there were a couple other movies where I was able to film some stuff at home to be added to the movie. There's a movie coming out for SRS called June World. It's a sci-fi movie, and I was able to film kind of a small cameo part at home for Mark that got added to that movie. I know that's coming out soon, but I would have probably done more, during 2020 if it weren't for the pandemic. I did a few little home things to try to keep going. But I'm glad things have gotten better now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything else, Patrick?
Yeah, I got a couple burning questions here. In Scarecrow County, I know it's one of your roles you played in. I just want to ask you one question because I have not seen that movie yet, but I want to mark it down as one of my ones to watch. But I have to ask you a question: is there a scarecrow in it?
I have seen that movie, and there is a scarecrow in it. Yes.
I'm buying it. Okay, because see, I actually there was a movie that came out called American Scarecrow,
Scarecrow.
and I watched it. I spent there was 71 minutes. I watched it. Jeff, there's no scarecrow in it. I was like, how could you call yourself American Scarecrow and there's no scarecrow? So I just made a promise right there that if a movie has a scarecrow in it, I have to make sure there is a scarecrow before I watch it.
Please be a killer scarecrow.
That can be frustrating.
Now, did you play the scarecrow?
No, that was one of two movies that I did voice parts for John Dalton. John O. Dalton directed that and The Girl in the Crawl Space. And he's in Indiana and I'm in Albany, New York. But
Yeah.
nice.
We are actually going to be talking to John on my show on the 25th.
Okay, good.
So I'll get to ask him that then. How did you like how did you like working off his scripts?
Oh, they were fine. They were fine. For both of those movies, I simply recorded some voice parts and sent them to him electronically. And for Scarecrow County, I actually recorded mine, and a couple of actor friends here also did voice parts. So we recorded them all together, and then I sent them to him. No, it's a good experience. It's still contributing to the movie, and it's just a different voice acting, a different experience. And John was actually nice enough to give me I think, an assistant director credit on Scarecrow County, which is much more gracious than he needed to be.
Wow, that's yeah, but it has a scarecrow in it, so it's going to be all right. Trust me, it's important.
My voice part for that movie is actually in a scene where a character hears voices in her head. That's actually what my voice part was for Scarecrow County.
Oh, okay. You're her voice.
Yes, crazy voice. All right.
But hey, it's good. You can contribute.
What's the funniest movie? What's the funnest movie? What's the funnest one of your movies that you've done? What's the one that you just? I mean, if someone was new to you in your career, what? Well, let's make it better than that. What three movies would you tell them, like, if you want to see what I'm about? These are the three movies I would recommend seeing.
Well, you're kind of asking about what I mean. I've produced a handful of movies, and I've edited a handful. But in recent years, I've become more known for acting because I've done so many of Mark's movies. So if you're asking about, an acting role,
yeah, let's go with the acting role. I mean, that's what we're.
Sure. I think my favorite part was, as I was telling him, and I played a character in the movie Jurassic Prey for Mark. He was a washed-up child star who gets together with some friends that worked on his TV show years ago, and they rob a bank, and there's a giant dinosaur involved. But I related to that character. I thought it was really interesting. He had a couple of good dramatic moments. That was fun. Probably next would be the evil scientist in Sharkenstein, because Klaus was so over the top and everything, and it was a lot of this waving around and making people do these experiments on a shark. You will obey me. You will obey me. That type of thing. That was a lot of fun. I remember that role, and I don't know. I've done a couple that haven't been released yet that are probably going to be up there. The movie I just finished is another kind of over the top role, something I never thought I would play before or ever play. Maybe that's going to be number 3. I don't know yet, but we'll see.
Okay. It sounds like you're having fun.
I guess producing wise, I produced an anthology called Halloween Horror Tales, and I'm pretty proud of that one. It has 4 stories. I think they're all pretty solid. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on that one. So yeah, as far as my own productions go, maybe that one.
See, I gotta respect you for that. See, that's one bad thing about anthologies. I find out, most anthologies, they try to do too much. It's like they try to put in so many different stories, and it's just like it suffers the most. I think four or maybe three in a wraparound is
Sure.
optimal for a good anthology, don't you think? I mean, that's wraparound in three stories or just four stories. I just feel like that way each story gets room to breathe.
Right. Right. I think so too. I've always thought of an anthology as being 3 or 4 stories. I've worked on a few of them, and they've always been that. I worked on a couple before Halloween Horror Tales, and they were 3 stories. And I think that's a good. I think that's a good length. Yep. Usually for a 70 to 85 minute movie, they all have enough time. That type of thing with some kind of wraparound character or a hostess or something like that. Yeah, definitely.
That's smart. I wish more people would do that when they do an anthology. That's the whole problem. Is sometimes they just try to stuff way too much in it, and then everything it just runs together after a while.
Sure. Sure.
When they have like 8 or 9 of them in there. Is that what you mean, Veg?
Well, yeah, I've seen that. Even on ones that are well intentioned. Like one of my favorite ones was holidays, but instead of covering every single holiday, it would have been nice for them to cover maybe the 4 main holidays. And it's because it just sort of all the stories are really good. Well, for the most part, the ones that are really good, you wish you could have a little bit more time with them,
Yeah.
but they feel a little bit rushed because you only got like a 90-minute runtime, and I think overall it hurts the movie. So, but when you have like a 3 or 4 story, I just think it's just much stronger. You get more time and more detail, flesh out your characters better. Um, make it more exciting. If it's a horror anthology, you could put a little bit more gore in it, a little bit longer. Everything you could improve it. But that's just how I feel about anthologies. I'm glad you think so too, Jeff.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I worked on a couple before that. My friend Joe Bignardi did one called "The Edge of Reality" that had 3 stories, and that was about 80 minutes long. And I thought that was a nice. It gave, like you say, it gave time for each story to play out. Develop the characters, and some of the real short ones are tough to grab onto, I think.
I mean, if it works, I mean, sometimes it works that way, like the ABCs of Death. I mean, but that was designed was designed to be a 3 to 4 or 5 minute short. So everybody went in there knowing that, and they adjusted. But sometimes in a regular anthology, they don't have those restrictions or limitations, and so then they tend to like, oh, let's put in everything in the kitchen sink, and it just hurts the overall product. So what's next for you? Oh, should I take that question, Stephen?
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're fine. You can answer.
Let me step back. Stephen, you ask him the question.
No, yeah, you're fine. I don't mind. We're going back and forth here. My next question was for you've done creature and slasher movies. You have a preference of either or enjoy both the same?
Well, I was very excited at first to do work on some slasher movies. The first slasher piece I worked on was one of the 4 stories in Halloween Horror Tales has a killer clown, the first story. So that was kind of a tiny taste of it. And then I got to do some Camp Blood movies with Mark, and that was really exciting. And then, like I said, with Camp Murder, I got to actually be the mass killer. And then I've done a lot of the creature films, but I don't really have a preference at this point, having now done work with the slashers. But I do have a soft spot for slasher movies. I'm a child of the '80s, and some of those famous franchises from the '80s are very near and dear to my heart. The original Nightmare on Elm Street movie was the single movie that got me interested in the horror genre. If it weren't for that movie, I might be somewhere else today. I mean, I was fascinated by that film, and I like a lot of those series that a lot of people will rattle off. Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. I think the original Prom Night's brilliant. That's one of my favorite films. But so I probably will still get excited if I get to do more in that territory, in that type of genre.
You got any opinions on Halloween Kills? What, have you seen the trailer yet?
It looks really good. It looks. I thought the the last one, the whatever the reimagining, the remake, whatever you want to call it, was a pretty solid movie. I couldn't really poke any holes in it. It was not it didn't change the world, but it was a good movie. And this trailer looks pretty cool to me. I don't I think it's going to be neat. I'm looking forward to it. How about you guys?
Oh yeah, I liked it.
Oh yeah. I have to admit, I'm very curious. I'm very curious.
It was pretty brutal too, the scenes that they showed. So
No, I know firefighters. No, that's terrible. That's terrible.
let it burn.
I know.
I was hoping they would say "let it burn," and then I was hoping somebody else would sit there and say, "We don't need no water. Let the and then but that was just me.
Yeah, that series just keeps going on and on, doesn't it? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, do you really think if the money's all there, if they're making it 120, 150 million dollars, do we really think that Halloween Ends is really going to be Halloween Ends?
There's been movies where they say final chapter ends, and then they come out with more. So it's like, don't call it ending unless it's going to end. Because,
right. Maybe it's just going to end for Jamie Lee Curtis. Then they're going to like have the spirit of Michael Myers flow off into somebody else. Who knows?
Kind of like a Jason Goes to Hell type of deal, or he was different.
I was going to say, before I forget it, congratulations. I saw you had Danielle Harris on your show, and that's pretty cool.
That was Steven. Steven actually got us Danielle Harris, and so that was awesome. That was really very exciting, and and it's funny because last week we actually interviewed a young lady who did a movie with Amanda Weiss from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
So she worked with Amanda, and so when you're mentioning Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm thinking, wow, this is sort of like a Kevin Bacon type of deal here.
5 Degrees. Oh, who did that? Who interviewed you now?
Work with Amanda Weiss in 4 degrees. Okay, well.
Yes. Yep. Kevin Bacon.
We'll take zombies versus Bigfoot, and then we'll connect it to there you go. You can just connect it all the way through.
Well, hey, Triggered is a Wildline movie, Patrick.
It is. That's what I mean. That's a connection. There you go. See, it connects.
I like doing that. I remember I was at a film convention, and I was talking to Heather Langenkamp from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I took great glee in telling her that I had also acted in a movie produced by Fred Olen Ray, because she had done something called a sci-fi movie for Fred Olen Ray.
Oh.
Can't think of the name of it now. I'm blanking on it now, but I had worked on Amityville Death House that Mark directed, produced by Fred Olen Ray. So it was kind of nice. Oh, yes, I did a movie for Fred Olen Ray.
Wait, was that Fred still? Fred Olen, you know what he's doing now, right? You know the movies he's doing now, right? He's actually doing the Lifetime movies now. He's actually gone down to I don't know if they're like, I wouldn't say they're like Christmas movies yet. I think they're more action thrillers, but he's actually doing action thrillers now.
Okay, cool.
Because he had a reputation as for like, because I actually reviewed one of his movies that he did, Attack of the 60-Foot Centerfold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I mean, again, it's like a Bulletproof, right? I mean, how could you sit there and say anything wrong about that? It was just hilarious. It was a funny movie and some really pretty girls.
Are you looking at my dress? I swear I wasn't. You're just tall.
Yeah.
I like that Degrees of Kevin Bacon thing too.
His son too is also directing, if I'm not mistaken. Christopher Olen Ray's directing now.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I was an extra and Never Back Down, and Jeff Wadlow directed it, and he directed the movie Cry Wolf with Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. And when I was at the Supernatural convention, I've met Jared, and I'm like, yeah, we worked with the same director, Jeff Wadlow. He's like, oh yeah, he's a good guy. We were just talking a little bit while I was working with it. It's kind of ironic, oh yeah, we were in a movie with the same director. Always funny when you find someone who. And then what was it? Not Eileen. Was it Eileen Dietz? I think that I was talking to. Yeah, it was Eileen Dietz, who was the demon in The Exorcist, because she was too young, or Linda Blair is too young. And it was at an FX show. They don't do conventions anymore. and she asked if it was my first convention. I was like, "Oh no, I've been going for a long time, and I've worked with." I go, "I doubt you know who he is, but Camden Toy from Buffy." And she goes, "Oh, we have the same agent, and he lives down the street from me."
Oh wow,
I'm like, "Oh yeah, we should call him." I'm like, yeah, so it was funny.
that's cool.
That leads into a good question for you, Jeff. Is have you done conventions, and are you going to do any this summer? If people wanted to meet
Now that
you
they're
and say
starting
hi,
up, yeah.
yeah, people wanted to see you, meet you, and get their copies of movies signed. I mean, where could they bring their Splatter Farm film? Are you going to be at any conventions?
Well, I mean, over the years, I've gone to a lot of conventions, and I've been at tables sporadically. I did one with another local filmmaker one year, um, and then there was one in the Hudson Valley, I think back in 2013, where they had me as a local filmmaker, guest of honor, that type of thing. So I what was it? The one with the local filmmaker was called Scaricon, which I don't think they're doing anymore. We had a table there, so I've kind of done them, off and on, but not really since I started working on Mark's movies and became a little bit more well known. I haven't done anything yet. It might be an idea because I really do like conventions, and I like hanging out at tables and meeting everybody. So hopefully that will pan
Oh,
out. We'll see.
I would think that Mark would be a natural to be at a convention. His body of work is most impressive, and
Yeah.
obviously there's tremendous a lot of fandom for him.
Yeah, I think he did Scaricon also one year. I think that might have been the same convention. I think he had a table, and then myself and this other filmmaker friend of mine had a table. But yeah, I know Mark does them occasionally, but he's usually too busy making movies. But he does them occasionally. I think it would be cool to do one together sometime. That would be fun.
It
Conventions
would be fun.
are great. Yeah.
Yeah, the next one I'm going to is Spooky Empire in Orlando this October. So, but hey, maybe if you contacted Petey, if you're not filming, you could probably get a table, I'm sure.
Wow. No, that's cool. Yeah,
Uh,
they're gonna be great
Okay,
to come back, definitely.
so when's Sharkula coming out?
Oh, Sharkula. Did you say Sharkula?
I did. I
Dracula.
said Sharkula.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you said it. I didn't spill the beans on that movie.
No, no.
Okay. No, I don't know. It's not finished yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't heard anything about it, the release date.
Sharkula's gonna look a lot of fun. It looks like it maybe I'm looking at a cool picture here, and it looks like the Sharkula has some fangs in it, like a Dracula.
Well, Sharkula, yeah, I would think so.
Well, I
You
was
think
thinking before.
you think they'll come out with a cereal with it?
I don't know. I was saying before I can't mention movie titles, but
Oh, okay.
I had forgotten somebody put up a. No, we put up an IMDb page for that, so there is an IMDb page for
Yeah.
that. But I don't
So,
know. I
no,
don't know.
you didn't mention, you did. Jeff Kirkendall did not mention this movie. I did. So
It's on the
come at
IMDb
me. Come
page.
at me.
Bring it!
Yeah,
Everyone
bring it.
was that Family Guy's like, come on!
Come on. I want. See, that's again. It's like I'm looking at. I'm actually looking at the page, and it has that one of those kick-ass covers again. Famously kick-ass covers. That cover is wicked. That is a wicked cover.
It does.
But I don't know why Mark was really loves sharks. I swear he just
Tons of
he
shark
must have
movies.
he just loves sharks. Now you guys are. Do you said you live in Pennsylvania or you live in New York?
I'm from New York. I'm about 4 hours away from where Mark is, so it's always a 4.5 hour drive.
No, is Mark in Pennsylvania?
Yes. Yes.
And yet he has such a fascination for sharks. I would think that he would be the one by the coast, and you'd be the one in Pennsylvania.
I think that Wild Eye and some of the other distributors probably just believe that the shark thing has legs in it still. That's my sense, because Mark seems to be has written a lot of shark movies for Wild Eye and the other distributors, and I think I've done 4 or 5 now. I'm shocked that we've done so many, and they must believe that the whole trend has legs and is still going on. So, but hey,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Well-
well, I had seen that Jurassic Shark 2 is going to be coming out in August too, so it's like another shark movie there.
that
Of course,
yeah, that one.
we can't be talking about sharks without mentioning our good friend. This is Brett right here. This is
Okay.
my this is my
DK for short.
Yeah, this is my Ouija shark right here.
Okay.
So we here have a great deal of love for sharks too.
Yep. No, that the Jurassic Shark movie was actually one we shot a couple of years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago. That one, Wild Eyes had that one for a while, and I only became aware of it from the IMDb page that went up recently.
I don't know how that how I don't know how that works because you're not the first actor, film director, producer has mentioned that they have done a lot of movies for Wild Eye, and yet they just sit on the shelf and they don't ever. I mean, I thought especially if you made the movie and did all the post production work and you delivered it like here's the movie totally made. I don't understand why it takes so long for it to reach the marketplace. 2 years is a long time to be sitting on a movie.
I can't be too critical of Wild Eye because the
No,
majority.
I'm not looking for that. It's just like an open question. It's like why I wonder why it takes so long. I mean, is it just
Yeah,
is
the
it
majority. The ones Mark's done for Wild Eye, the majority of them have come out very quickly, but there is an occasional one like this one that has sat for a while, and I think it may be simply that Wild Eye has a lot of acquisitions and a lot of movies to get out, and probably there's probably a lot to the distribution process to do a proper rollout for movies. That's my guess.
it's very hard. It's getting much harder now because if you've been inside your local Walmart and your Best Buy and your Target, and you've seen it's a very common topic here among us collectors and reviewers is that movies are becoming harder and harder to get as far as in brick and mortar stores. And I mean, it's hard. You just can't just go to Walmart, see a kick-ass cover like Bigfoot versus Zombie and buy it.
Mhm.
Plus, you had the last true large video store, which did a lot of business for Wild Eye, which is Family Video. Well, they went belly up earlier this year too,
I know.
and a
No.
lot of the shelf space is just shrinking down like this much, and it's got to be a little bit tougher now to get your product out.
It's all studio releases. I know it's very yeah. The physical is going to be very tough. Thank goodness for the internet. I mean, I think Wild Eye does a pretty good job still of getting their movies onto the physical shelves as well, and a couple of other companies as well. SRS, gets the movies onto the physical shelves, and but yeah, that I think it looks like a very difficult situation. With studios taking up that shelf space, and I don't know if it's vital anymore because of online sales, but I'm sure it's very difficult for the distributors to navigate that. Definitely.
Now, you being a producer and a director too, uh, so let me ask you a question. I mean, Splatter Farm got released on Family Video. It got released pretty wide. I mean, I've seen it on the store shelves, and I've seen it on, like I said, in the video stores and whatnot. Um,
Oh,
my question,
I did not know it got released Family Video actually.
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. It was just, my question would be now. I mean, if you were going to make a movie now, let's just say, Return to Farm again. When
A
you
return, yes.
return to the return. Um, Now, as a producer and a director, when you do a contract with a distributor, when you do the contract, can you sit there and put that in the contract that you want to see at least your movie in a certain amount of stores, or is it just a crapshoot? Is it up to the distributor to see how many stores he can get your product in, or is it up to you before you sit there and say, because you're a known commodity to Wild Eye, right? I mean, Mark's known, you're known, um, so they know that your movies do very well for them. But with the shrinkage space of the shelf space, can you negotiate that? I mean, is it one of those things where it says, can you at least get us into at least 30% of the markets that we had last year? I mean, is there do you have any rights at all? Do you have any pull at all in getting your movies on shelves, or is that 100% distributors?
It's probably 100% the distributor. I mean, I have a couple of my movies released through Sterling Entertainment, David Sterling, and with those contracts, it basically gives them the right to distribute it, promote it any way they like in any media, that type of thing. There's I don't remember any mention of a certain percentage here and there, that type of thing. I think
I
you
just
know Yeah, I think it's probably up to the distributor. Different contracts may work differently, but from the little bit that I've seen on that end, it probably is. They probably run with the ball. That's what I think.
We got a question here. I hope you're still here, PVD.
Yeah, I was just about to say you
Yeah.
wrote that.
Yeah.
How was it in Landshark?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. What did you say about Land Shark?
How was it being in Landshark? I don't know if Josh is still here, but that was his question.
Oh, that was fun. We shot my scenes in Pennsylvania, but the majority of that movie was shot in California. Mark at that time for a couple of years was working out in LA, and our scenes were inserted into the movie. But we shot that on the deck of our swimming pool, actually, which substituted for the deck of a ship. We did it at night. That was fun. We had a few fun lines of dialogue before we got gobbled up. It was fun.
Shark bait. Ooh,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, how did you use covers from a real land shark? Did you how they did with Jaws? They interacted with the real shark with the Jaws, with the mechanical shark. Did they do that? Did you do that with the land shark?
Let me see now. I don't think I had any interaction with the puppets on that one. I did watch the Vanish movie, and there looked to be a lot of like puppetry with other characters, but I think it was if I remember for our scene, it was mainly cutaways cutting back to before and after the demise, and there was I think in the movie you see the remains, my head floating or something like that.
No, that's what I was saying. I'm asking, did you use real covers of a real land shark, not puppets, but real land sharks?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that one because our scene was it was a very isolated scene from the rest of that movie because the rest of the movie was shot somewhere else.
Because I heard they did that with sand sharks, which is, I think it's an indirect sequel or companion movie, Land Sharks, Sand Sharks.
Oh, I don't know that. I don't know Sand Shark.
I think Steven knows that.
I'm not sure about sand sharks. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're connected there.
I know there was a movie called Snow Shark, but I don't know.
And the avalanche shark.
Avalanche shark. I love bad shark movies. Bad shark movies, they rock. They rock so hard. I mean, they're just so much fun to do.
Yeah,
Trailer Park Sharks. Mr. Belding is in it. Dennis.
Yeah. No, I never would have imagined having been involved in so many shark movies at this point. It just kind of snowballed since.
Of course, our personal favorite, Ouija Shark.
Okay.
Yes.
But now I saw the poster for Sharkula. I'm changing my mind already. I'm going like, oh, screw this Ouija shark. Bring me some Sharkula, man. That looks pretty badass.
Did I hear something about a Ouija shark too? Or
yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do that or not.
Yeah,
they're
coming out with another Ouija shark.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, I'm looking at the Sharkula, man. It looks it's awesome. Okay, so I got a serious question for you, Jeff. I mean, as you being a former, you being a director, and which I'm sure you look at everything through as a director, because that's what you were at once. So I'm sure you don't walk onto a set and see, I'm here as an actor. I'm sure you look at it professionally too as a director. So my question would be like, what kind of young talent do you see coming up? I mean, have you spotted anybody cutting their teeth on these movies that you see could go far in the industry? Is there any actors or actresses that you would recommend keeping an eye on?
Well, I mean, working
besides
with,
yourself.
Well, it's been interesting working on Mark's movies. He tends to use a lot of the same people, the same group of people. And there are a lot of younger actors that have been in some of his movies that are really talented, and I can see them going, bigger movies and bigger budgeted movies. I think I've really liked everybody that I've worked with, and it's just been a really good bunch of people, really talented people.
I was going to say, joke around that Sharkula. So instead of a harpoon through the heart, is it going to be a wooden stake on the harpoon? since it's a vampire shark. And it's
Hey, I don't think he can talk about it.
oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He didn't. I did. I'm just making jokes about it. I could be
Yeah,
right.
you got to put it. You got to protect our guest. You got to sit
Yeah.
there and say, "I asked
I
Jeff this
said
question."
it.
Well,
But
yeah, it's interesting. It really, you asking about my favorite characters. Sharkula might be in that list. I haven't seen the final product yet, but I know that it was I did a fun character, and it was something I never thought I would, a character I never thought I would play before.
Who are you going to play? Are you going to play the Van
you
Helsing
can't
part?
talk about it now.
Well, I mean, if you were going to cast yourself, would you cast yourself as Van Helsing, like Hugh Jackman, Van Helsing?
Oh, that would probably be my inclination to do that, but
Okay.
so I don't think. Yeah, I don't think.
Just suppose, just for this like in alternate reality, could you see yourself playing Van Helsing in a Sharkula movie?
Oh, I would try. I would try anything basically. Yeah, I would try anything. Van Helsing, I might fit that. I could probably do that. Yeah.
Because they got you a second. They have you a second billing here, so that means you must be playing Van Helsing. That's a speculation, of course, but
it could be. You're warm. You are warm. Think of those classic movies. You're warm. I'm not saying it's that, but it's something like that in that universe.
I wanted to. Do you think Mark uses the same shark for every cover, or does he?
Or it's his cousin shark. Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if he has friends. I wonder if his shark is a friend. I mean,
he does use some of the same props. He's used some of the same props.
Yeah, I actually listened to his commentary. He did commentary for Bigfoot versus Zombie, and I watched that. Yeah, he commented about that. He commented, and actually he did a commentary for Amityville Island, which I watched as well. And he commented that how he used stock footage for a lot of his films, which I guess it would actually stretch out the budget a little bit more. Sure. Which brings us back around to the question I brought to you earlier. So I guess if you're really creative with that $1,000, you can stretch it out to make it seem like 1,500. That's interesting. That's interesting. So as far as any young actors, that you mentioned, he uses a stock company. So it's just this local community in Pennsylvania, right? He uses all the actors in Pennsylvania.
Well, some of them are local actors from Pennsylvania, and they do a lot of movies. A lot of actors also come from New York. Some of the people are from Central New York. A few of us keep coming down from this area. I remember when I did Empire of the Apes, besides me going down to Pennsylvania for that first movie with Mark, I brought a couple actor friends, and they had roles. My friend Marie Di Lorenzo, who's from this area, she wound up playing a lead role in that movie, and she's done probably half a dozen movies, at least for Mark. And I have a couple other actor friends who do movies, and like I said, some are from Central. There are a lot of actors from the Central New York area that keep coming to do movies as well. So
okay,
he gets people from different areas, and sometimes people from other areas too. The movie we just Sharkula, James Kelly is from New Jersey. He was in Return to Splatter Farm, so he comes quite a distance to do Mark's movies too. So it's a lot different group. Yeah.
I mean, do you think doing a stock company that many times, do you think it hurts a production though, in a sense though, Jeff? Isn't it good to maybe have some fresh blood in there for some fresh energy instead of getting because I had a director friend of mine who did the stock company thing, and he actually got investors to do a new movie that he was doing. But one of the first things they told him was, you can't use anybody that you've used before, because people already see him before, and they connect you with they're used to seeing these people in all your movies. We want you to bring in a fresh cast,
right?
For fresh energy. I mean, do you think that would help sometimes? Have you thought about that? Or was that something you would approach? And if you were doing a new movie yourself, would you feel comfortable bringing fresh people in and fresh faces?
Well, I think it's very much like your other question about the budget. There's not really yes or no answer. I mean, I look at Mark's movies, and as anybody else does, and you see a lot of the same people. Even before I worked with Mark, I produced some movies in my area, and I did a bunch of movies, and I tended to use some of the same group of people from this area. I think there are pluses and minuses to it. People, some of the, the hardcore Polonia fans probably just love seeing us in each movie. Hopefully me, but other people in movie after movie. But I met I've thought of it sometimes too. I'm always thinking, it will add some fresh talent, some fresh blood if you have new faces. So I'm always happy when we're able to find new faces, that type of thing. I worked on a movie it was shot in the Adirondacks a couple months ago. It was before Sharkula, and Mark was the director of photography, and the producer/director on that movie uh, had basically all new people, myself and a couple of the Polonia actors, but the rest of the cast was all new people. So it was a different experience, and you get a different look to the movie. And I think it's good, blending people you've seen before with new actors. But yeah, I see your point on that. There is definitely a good thing, with getting new faces in there as well. So
That's kind of what I was talking about earlier before you came in, Patrick, with some of the same actors and everything. So how it would be.
Yeah, the what I used to call it the Jack Webb effect. Like that's what Jack Webb used to do. Um, but then I found out that even before Jack Webb was doing that, John Ford was doing that. The famous director, he had like a stock company of like 100 different actors that he used in all his movies. He just rotated them in and out. He'd find the little roles, he'd find just tiny little roles for everybody in the stock company. Not saying 100 people every movie, but let's say he rolled up a movie, he could grab like 15 of his stock company and put them all in these small little roles. And he did so many movies, he was able to rotate them all through. So I mean, I'm just wondering now. It's like that was back then because there's probably a lot less actors back then there is now. Now, I mean, there's armies of them. So I was wondering.
sure. Sure. I always enjoy working with new people though. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I would think so. I think the new creative energy and the especially those, or maybe this is their first film, that energy, that the excitement would be, probably would elevate some performances, and whatnot. I mean, just you find your own self, getting involved, more pepped up because there's someone who's just eager to get going.
yeah.
Um,
I think it runs both ways. I always enjoy seeing old friends and working with friends, people I've worked with over and over again. There's a certain excitement to that. And then there's a certain, excitement of working with the new people as well. So
right, right. So I guess the one question me and Steven we didn't talk about, but I both know that I know how he thinks, so he knows how I'm thinking. I
Mhm.
guess the one question I really want to ask you, the real important one is, how good of a crafty does Mark Polonia provide? I mean, who's been the best? Who's provided you with the best crafty in your career?
you mean craft
Yeah,
food, craft
yeah,
services?
yeah.
Well,
That's an important question, Jeff.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Thank you, thank you. So we
well,
we want to hear the dirt. We want to hear menus. And we want to hear your favorite dish.
Well, I will give a shout out to Mark's wife, Maria Polonia. She usually cooks for us at least a couple nights when we're doing, say, a 3 to 4 day shoot. She always cooks great stuff. And then usually at least one night when we do a shoot, usually the last night before I'm going to leave the next day, we go to a local restaurant. A lot of times it will be Perkins in Pennsylvania. That's our go-to place.
Perkins is always
The
yes.
tradition.
Did you hear that though? He says Mark's wife cooks 2 meals. Now we know the secret of why the stock company. Now we know why the thing.
You all want to come for the food.
Yeah, now we get it.
at
Yeah.
least at least 2 meals, sometimes more, sometimes lunch, sometimes
Uh-huh.
we cook a lot. So they have food for us, and yeah, it's
All
always
right. We get it. We get it.
we bring lots of snacks as well. Lots of we actors bring lots of junk food with us as well.
Yeah,
Now everybody wants to
but
be in the
see,
next movie. Oh, I hear you got
I don't know very many that sit there and say they get a home cooked meals though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's pretty damn good. I can understand coming back.
Well, Mark films a lot of scenes at the house, is what it is. So
Oh,
for a lot of Mark's films, we are at the house a lot. So
okay, okay.
so a lot of scenes there, sure.
That's an interesting set. Just film everything at the house. That's
Some things, some things. Wow.
so. Besides what you told us about your acting career and everything, anything that fans might not know about you, other hobbies or talents or interests that you'd like to share?
Let's see. Sure. Well, I love I love 80s culture. I'm a very child of the 80s, so I love all things 80s music and movies. And I'm a big retro game fanatic, particularly arcade and Atari cartridges. I collect Atari cartridges, and I'm really into that. There's a group on Facebook and a website, Atari Age, which I'm very much into. I got back into Atari a few years ago. I haven't played it as a youth.
Atari 2600 changed my life.
Oh, okay,
Well,
really?
maybe you can tell me this then. There's this game, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called, but it was there was like a UFO, and you had to protect a cow from being abducted. It'd be like murr, and if you let it go in the ship, it would like go little cow parts. It was like murr. I
Wow.
can't, I can't remember what it was. It was like a cow abduction game, and you had to protect the cow from being abducted by the ship. I can't
Wow.
remember.
That sounds like some kind of a rare game to me. I don't because I know quite a few of them. I know quite a few games, and it sounds like that sounds like maybe an iMagic game or one of those odd companies that produced what are called rare games today. That they may have done only one or two games, something like that. Wow.
Because there's like a couple people who have sort of like think they might know what I'm talking about, but other people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, it was really funny too because it'd be like moo, and then it like little cow pieces would come out like it was mutilated if you let it get in the ship."
Okay, that sounds good though.
Yeah.
Wow, you have me stumped on that one.
I might have to
I like
research that more.
I like the tank pong. You battle somebody else on a tank, and you bounce off your shots all over the place and try to shoot them. That was always fun.
Tank Wars, you're talking about,
Tank
or you're
wars,
talking
and
about Atari?
they had the biplane war too, where
Oh.
you got in a little biplane and you go up there and fly in the clouds and come down like Snoopy on the Red Baron and stuff. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first one you were talking about sounds like Combat, which was the game that was packaged with the Atari 2600 with the tanks, and then the other one. There was actually Snoopy versus the Red Baron. That's kind of one of those rare cartridges, a little bit more expensive.
Oh, I actually did not know they made one of those. I just know that it came. You're right. I think it came with the combat pack when they first got the Atari, and you go up there in a little biplane, and you'd be like flying in the clouds and stuff. Beep 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 beep.
Yes.
I love those. Yeah, that was fun. You couldn't go wrong with the Atari 2600.
Right.
And then the pit game or whatever, where you go across the quicksand and the pits and the snakes and all.
Right. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Was it Pitfall or something Pit?
Yeah, Pitfall. That was Pitfall by God. I think didn't Mattel make that after video? That was like one of their first video games. They called it a different company.
Pitfall was Activision.
Right.
Activision. Yeah.
They were the first third party company to make games for the Atari 2600 outside of Atari themselves. First company.
I want to say Activision was owned by Mattel though, right? Or wrong?
No, Mattel did start producing 2600 games. Their company is called M Network. Their cartridges. But
okay.
Yeah, so I know a little bit about it.
Pitfall. Yeah, Pitfall was always, man. I could never do Pitfall. I was always dead by the third hole. Like,
there was like the snakes, the quicksand, and then all the other
I was dying when I was just tying my shoe.
Like just walk right across. Oh, dead. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I grabbed it. I swear, I swung across.
Yeah, I bent over to tie my shoe before the start of the game, and then I would tie my shoelaces together, and I fall down, and the scorpion hit me in my ass. That'd be it. I was dead. I was dead in 10 seconds.
It's a good game. It's a famous game.
So what kind of movies do you like to watch when you're not making them?
Well,
I mean, I know you said you mentioned you're a child of the '80s, but I mean, is there anything out now today? Is there any filmmakers today or actors today that you would like enjoy watching?
I go to a lot of movies in the theater. I'm a big fan of Hollywood movies. I have a couple friends and I. We have movie night probably twice a month. Well, not during the pandemic, but other than that, we have movie night twice a month, and we're going back now. And we go to see all the the new Hollywood movies. Sometimes they're horror movies, sometimes action. And I watch a lot of the direct to video stuff too. I was saying before I recently just now been watching the Children of the Corn movies. A friend got me the collection on DVD, and
Nice.
watched 6 out of 7 so far. Just one more to go on that. And but I
I'm
like.
getting I'm
I like.
getting a chance to interview Courtney Gaines on the 15th.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I'll tune into that one. That's cool. That was a good
Uh,
movie.
yeah. Do you have a YouTube account?
Yes, it's under my name, Jeff Kirkendall. I put
Okay.
up.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll
but
connect I'll connect with you, and then you can connect with me, and then I'll invite you in.
okay, cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, very good. Yes,
Thanks,
that's
Stephen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I got connected with Jeff there.
I hook you up with everybody. You know that.
I connect. Hey, but don't forget who connects you with Bigfoot versus zombies. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yes, you
Thank
did
you.
tell me about that. And then from
Mm-hmm,
there, it was all else.
Very cool.
Just
Very
became a wild eye fanatic.
Yeah, I don't know if you've explored Stevens. He's actually the largest wild eye collector of anybody who is in our community, Jeff.
okay.
He has, yeah, he is. He truly is the
Wild eye guy.
wild eye guy. 85. He truly is.
Okay.
How many movies you got now? I know last time you and I talked, Stephen, you had like 254.
I think. Well, I got the Pigman murders and something else. So I think I'm up to like 256 or 257 wild eye titles. I think.
Wow.
Well, no, because and then three more that I didn't have the luring. The last ones Rob sent me. So I think I'm up to maybe 259 now.
Wow.
I would have like 44, but if one's been stuck in limbo that Stephen's supposed to send me, but some reason I haven't gotten it yet. I think he's holding on to it.
Yeah. Which one was it again? I got it. Says
I don't know which one it was. It's one of the ones he won. I wanted your contest.
because I
See,
know
it's in-
Hobbs got Sheborg. Was it Sleepless Nights you wanted, or was that his also?
No, you know what it was? It was a high def. Yeah,
High
the
def.
anthology.
Yeah,
Because I love anthology films, so that's what I
that's what it was.
picked.
High def. Yeah. And I also have that Rent-A-Pal too for it. I got them there. I gotta go ahead and send those suckers out.
I tell you. See, I do somebody a good turn by turning them on to Bigfoot versus Zombie, and this is what I get, Jeff.
Exactly. That's what you get.
Life is hard for us podcasters out here. I'm telling you.
It's a hard
No,
podcast.
this has actually been this has been great.
Oh, I appreciate you having me. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, very, very cool. Very
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Definitely.
We'll do this again soon.
And then once those movies come out, you can talk about. We can
yeah.
actually discuss them.
In fact, I tell you what. When Sharkula comes out, I'll host you on my show, and you can come over and say hi and talk about Sharkula with us.
Blah blah blah.
Okay, you're close. Okay.
No,
Okay.
he did not say Sharkula. Anybody? We asked him about Sharkula.
Exactly. That was all us.
No, I like I said, I had forgotten that we put an IMDb page up for that.
So you're off the hook. You're off the fishing hook now.
You're
Jeff.
off the hook. Yeah.
Yeah, the shark hook. You're off the shark hook now.
Yep.
Right.
You're not chum bait anymore.
I was just gonna say, if I could say, Camp Murder is coming out on DVD in August. And
Okay.
According to IMDb, Jurassic Shark 2, called Aquapocalypse, is coming out in August. According to that page, I haven't heard anything.
It said the 15th, but I don't know. We'll see. I know stuff.
I don't know.
could change, but
And then Dune World from SRS is coming out in September on DVD.
Okay.
So those are the ones that are debuting. I think there are trailers up for Camp Murder and Dune World now.
Okay.
I think I read.
Is Camp Murder going to come out on Wild Eye?
That Camp Murder is from SRS.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll put Stephen will put both their websites down beneath his description, so people can go visit SRS and Wild Eye both in case they want to pick up copies.
Cool. They did.
So
Yeah, they did.
that's the kind of guy he is.
Yep.
They did really cool trailers for both of those movies. They're on YouTube if you check.
I was
them
gonna
out.
say, I'm sure they're on YouTube.
So they
Yeah,
came out really well.
that's something we can't do about. We try to upload those, and we're out of business.
Right. Right. No, but I appreciate you having me on. It's been a lot of fun talking about all this stuff.
Good. I hope you had fun.
All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So is there anything else you want to say? Or I guess that's our time if you want to stay or go, or it's up to you.
No, just look for those movies, and I do have a YouTube page. It's Jeff Kirkendall. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the usual places, and just look for our stuff. That's all.
Yeah, Brett wanted to say bye.
All right.
All right. Thanks again. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
What a great guy, man. Good guess.
He was
Good
awesome.
guess. Yeah, he's awesome. That was a lot of fun. That
Learned
was a
some
lot
interesting
of fun.
stuff too.
Yeah. No, it was very cool. Just a real gentle guy, real sweet, real sweetheart. Wow. So I feel like a pitcher off a baseball team. I was sitting there doing nothing. Next thing I know, the phone rings, and I go answer the phone, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's Steven. He's calling the bullpen. So I said, oh, okay, let me throw a few pitches here, warm up. Coming in here, and I was like, yeah. Okay. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks for thinking about me.
Yeah.
I guess that Justin could not make it again today.
I guess not last week. Well, he had some issues, unfortunately. Like he was on, and then I guess his phone or he had a bad connection. So I don't know what's up this week, but that's all right. So
we're gonna find you a co-host, man. You need like 2 co-hosts.
Yeah.
We're gonna find you. That's gotta be your. You gotta
that can make it every time.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I don't mind rotating too, but it's
well, okay. Here's the problem about rotating, though. See, because someone mentioned that before too about rotating. But here's the problem with that: when you're doing a regular show like this, you want to be able to have your co-host. You want to be able to promote yourself,
right?
And see, someone who rotates, they're not necessarily going to go out there and promote. They might promote the show that they come on, but they're not necessarily going to promote the show that they're not going to be on.
Right.
So they're not really thinking about it. So they're not going to be out there pushing it.
That's true. They'll just be saying it when they're on. Yeah.
Now, if you had like 3 co-hosts and you want to rotate a 4th, that might work. If you had good, strong 3 co-hosts that are out there, doing this. Right. But otherwise, I would recommend getting. Definitely recommend getting
2 to 3 permanent ones.
Yeah. Wouldn't your you know what? Let's talk about this off camera. For sure, I want to do that off camera because I don't want to spread that to everybody. But right. Great show, man. I really liked it. And Josh, wow, yeah. If you're still here, man, raise your hand. Raise your hand. We should send you a little something. If you're here, if Josh is
here because he said thanks for asking questions.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna hook you up with a little something for that. Steven's gonna get a hold of you. Do you have an Instagram page or whatnot?
I saw that you just subscribed or became a friend with me. We connected, so
okay, yeah. So if you guys are if you're on Instagram, or if you want to ping if you're on Instagram page, or you leave us leave a message, whatnot. We just want to get your address so we can send you a little something. PVD horror. Yep. We're definitely going to do that. I'm going to connect with you too, and make sure that you get a little something from this. This is outstanding that you stay for the whole show. And I know that Steven, you tell him. I'm not only talking to people.
You think that? I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad you came and asked your questions, and of course Jeff appreciated it as well. And it was a good time, and it was good questions. It was a good show. I appreciate it. So
Hey,
I got some
hey,
wild eyed goodies. Maybe I'll send you something there.
maybe Jeff, maybe Josh ought to maybe he should get a tryout or something.
Yeah, if he's interested, yeah. If you
Just
got
throwing
the
it
free
out there. I
time.
mean, you just never know where you never know where you find your miracle at.
Exactly. It could just be
Mm,
the random
mm.
lucky.
Now,
Congratulations, you're the winner of the new co-host. Come
now,
on up.
now, Brett wants to get paid in tuna every week, so I don't think he could afford him. So, so if I would have had two of these, I would have named the other one Mark, and then I would have told that to Jeff. He would have known. He would have known. The game would have been up right then and there.
Yeah. Twinsies.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What's your shark's name? This is Mark, and this is Brett. What? Something fishy here.
Their next movie is going to be called Shark Wars, and they're going to come direct.
Yeah. I can see it now. I can see his new movie now. Patrick returns to Splatter Farm. Yeah, but he doesn't know my ultimate weapon though. No, yes he does because he made an appearance tonight. Oh
the cheetah.
Cheetah. Yeah, that's awesome, Josh. We're definitely gonna do something for you there. What do you got going on? Steven still got like a half hour to kill here. What are we talking about?
I watched Fear Street, the premiere of it. I actually watched it twice the same day that it came out. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
I mean, if you like slashers, it's awesome. I mean, it's even if you don't really know the history of Shadyside from the books, if you still like slasher movies, it definitely deserved its R rating. I mean, it was intense. And the acting was pretty good in it too. So I mean, it wasn't like, oh, how's this going to be? I mean, they all portrayed their characters well. Awesome 90s music because it took place in 94. It's got some good 90s music in it. And I see you got a box there.
Yeah, I should have brought this out when Jeff was here. Him being a kid of the 80s and all that. But I got the Friday the 13th box set from Scream Factory.
So hopefully that's the one that came out after they fixed that disc replacement.
It better damn be. I swear to heaven, this better not be all full of holes and stuff like that from the first time.
No, I was saying, remember the disc that didn't have the scene that it was supposed to have edited into it and all that.
Well, it better not be like that, or else I'm putting the hockey mask on the cheetah and letting them lose that Scream Factory.
So yeah, I had to get my replacement disc. There was no sound, and it was either Jason X. There was some issues. Jason Goes to Hell. There was some issues in the other disc, so there was like 3 mess ups.
Well, it's funny as I posted that picture. I posted the picture of me with the picture of that, and I'm sitting there. I'm looking at the picture and going like, "Huh? I wonder if anybody's going to remark to the fact that I got this cool ass Friday the 13th box set. I wonder if they'll even notice that it was sitting next to my my starter wife. I got the movie and I got the series. I'm wondering if they've noticed that. We're hardcore horror here. Horror lives.
Yeah, I'm looking for. Was it like 39 days? I think now until I go to Camp Daniel Morgan. It's gonna be so much fun. Can't wait.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the proper name for Camp Crystal Lake. I always thought it was just Camp Crystal Lake.
The original.
Then I thought it was Camp Coldbrook, and they're using Camp Crystal Lake and the subbing for Camp Coldbrook, and then that wasn't. Yeah, so.
Well, there's a few different camps. The original one, the first one, I forget the name of it, but it's in New Jersey. I know that.
Oh, that's Camp Hell. I mean, that's New Jersey. Where else? Could you imagine if they said Friday the 13th up in New Jersey, and then Jason comes around the corner and the kids are sitting there going like, "Oh, thank God you're here. I've been stuck in New Jersey. Could you just put me out of my misery?" And I don't know how far. I don't know how much that movie. Could you?
They're just all suicidal.
I mean, like, dude, I'm already in hell. I'm here in Jersey. What more can you do to me? I'm gonna put this blade through your head.
Thank you.
Yeah, right here, Jason, right here.
It's like in what was it, American Dad, the suicidal lemur. He's talking. He's like, "Oh, which movie?" He's taking the gun. He's like, "No, I know that." And the gun's. He's like, "Oh my God, it's a suicidal lemur." He jumps in front of the bullet.
Oh, so where is Camp Daniel Morgan at? In Florida?
No, it's in Georgia.
Great. Are you packing a banjo?
I think it was like about.
That's where that movie was set at. Deliverance is actually set in Georgia. So
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't remember. I told you that story of what happened when we first got there, right? How okay. So we broke like every horror movie rule when we first got there. My friend, she's coming down again from Minnesota. She drove down, and when we got there, there's like no cell phone signal at this camp. Like seriously, it's like a horror. Like you better hope you don't have to call 911 because my phone actually, I either got a text or it rang. I forget which, when we were in the center of the grass field where they did archery while we were shooting paintball. And my phone actually went off and they're like, "What the hell? He's got signal?" And they were like, "Don't move." They didn't believe I had signal. But so we get there and everything. And first thing we do, we got the map. We signed in. They gave us a little map of the camp and our cabins and all that. And we go to the cabin and we wanted to go to the lake. And so we split up from here. So one, we split up. There's no cell phone signal. And then I'm like, "Well, which way is it to the lake?" And I was like, "Well, check the map." And she's like, "I left it in the cabin." I'm like, "What the hell? We're the first dumb fucks to get killed. We're breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
We're splitting up. We don't have the map." I'm like, "Yeah, you see this in front of movies. You make fun of people like, that'll never happen in real life." And here we are.
Yeah, we're walking horror film. Where's the camera at?
I know.
Hey, is your name Sean Cunningham by chance? Oh yeah, that's my name. Meet my friend Steve Miner.
Like we're the first ones to get killed off. But this time, since we've been there, we know we can actually cook in that kitchen too. Like we didn't know that last time, but yeah, you can actually. It's a cooking kitchen. It's not just a prop in the movie.
Now, do you not feel like this is like the biggest reveal of anybody's done any of the interviews that we, on any channel? We now know the secret behind Mark Polonius' success is his wife Marie's home cooking for his cat. I feel like I feel like that's almost like a TMZ type of of story
of a reveal. Yeah. That's why it's all the same people. They like that homemade cooking. They know in other movies they're not going to get that.
Yeah, that's right. Just sign me up. Oh, well, what do you want for payment? Well,
your wife's
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I'll bring snacks. I'll pay for my own gas. I'll bring my own wardrobe. I'll bring my own fake blood. All I want is a meal, a home cooked meal. Okay, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I watched Doolittle with Robert Downey Jr. I actually made it through. I made it through the movie. It was poop. It was poop. It was poop.
Justin, Friday the 13th camp is a no Bebosco. What, I don't get that. No be. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
No, it's got to be some sort of code there. So I watched that, and then I started watching a new movie to me called The Ouija Experiment. And yes, I watched that way before I knew I was going to be on here tonight. So far, it's not bad. I'm about 30 minutes into it. It's an hour and a half movie. It's about 30 minutes into it.
I've heard about it. I'm trying to remember which one is that about.
Well, a group of rather old adults. I mean, they look all like they're all in their 30s, right? So they're not spring chickens, and they're doing a Ouija board, and this one guy's filming it after this other guy says, "Don't film me, don't film me," and he's like, "Dude, like after the 5th time, wouldn't you just get up there and say, dude, let me help you with this camera since I've asked you not to film me like 5 times? Here, let me help you." There. But that's what it was. And then they get on the Ouija board, and then they're asking this little girl about herself. She got killed, and then she got drowned, and then her daddy got shot, and now there's other spookies going on, and like I said, I'm only like 30 minutes into it. So I do know it's a trilogy though. It's the director made one in 2011, came back and made it one, the Ouija experiment again, I think it is, or something like that, and then the Ouija experiment warehouse, and I think came out in 2018. And he's got some of the same cast, so I know some of the people survive this movie. I didn't mean to find that out. I didn't mean to find that out, but I did when I look at the movie database, and I saw the director. He's already made a trilogy out of this. So yeah,
And
that's
that
what I'm
no,
watching. This ITN movie, little low budget. Oh, Viva Pictures distributed it.
okay.
And I guess I only knew Viva because I got a couple of animation movies from Dollar Tree, and they're both released by Viva Animation. So this was a new one to me. And then when I was looking at it, it says that they distribute Uncorked. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that's who because Theodore's always asking me if I see any Uncorked movies. Now I can tell him that yes, the Dollar Tree does have Uncorked movies, but you have to look for Viva, Viva, or Viva, and you have to find that distributor, and then that will be the Uncorked movies. So I didn't know that until last night.
I didn't know that either. I thought Uncorked movies just said Uncorked. I didn't know there was.
I thought so too. I had one movie of theirs that I actually bought. Actually, I want to say I actually got it. I got it at the dollar. I got it at the Family Video. I knew one of the girls was in the movie. It was called Carnivores of London, and it was her first movie. She was really excited about it, and then it came out, and then I can't understand this, but it happens a lot over there. But jealousy is a very fierce thing. She did the movie. She talked about it. She did the movie, and this was a UK movie. So this actress was UK based, no names, but she did her first movie, and then after that, people just were attacking her. They attacked her so bad that she left. She left. I don't know what she's doing now. Last her, she's doing modeling, but I don't know. It's been years, but yeah, she quit trying to be an actress because people were giving her such a hard time over the movie, saying it was so shitty. I had not seen it yet. I was going to see it a lot sooner than I have, but she just vanished. So,
Night, Josh. So he's heading out.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, man. Come back next week. Who do you got next week?
Next week. I'm trying to remember who I have next week.
Holy cow!
From Demon Squad.
You don't have a calendar? Oh my god, that's not.
I'm going on my phone.
That's not a calendar. This is a calendar. This right here is a calendar. This is what you need to get.
I do actually. It's upstairs. I got my planner with everyone I got written down and stuff.
This is the calendar. And how do you know this is my calendar? Because it has cats on it. Thank you very much. What else would I have on my calendar? You didn't think I was going to have horror, did you?
You should.
Let's not know me too well. If you don't know I was going to have cats on my calendar.
No, I knew you were going to have cats on your calendar. I knew it wasn't going to be dogs. So.
Well, who's going to be on? Who's going to be on in 2 weeks?
Well, next week, yes, I do know next week, and I feel stupid now. Aaron Lilly is going to be on from Demon Squad.
He's going to be impressed hearing this. He really does know who you are. He promised. He promised.
I promise.
Then who are you going to have on? Better not forget
on the 17th. So on the 17th, I got Steve Rampici.
I was going to say, don't forget Duke. Duke will come out and spike your ass.
He'll see me in hell.
Yeah, he'll send you to hell.
He'll send me to hell. Oh, did you see the trailer for Carousel 2? Steve released it.
Did he release it? I have to go see it. I can't.
I posted a link, of course, on my Facebook group. So
I gotta. You know what? I'm gonna have to do a Carousel 2 reaction video. Okay, so who do you got on the 24th?
That would be Daniel Emery Taylor, who did It's Just a Game.
It's Just a Game.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna look like the horse's ass, but what movie's that?
It's a Wild Eye movie. It's the
Oh, okay.
one where
Please.
they were those girls in the beginning were like mother murder. And they were teasing that girl, and it's got like that witch doctor mask type of killer on the cover. I don't know if you remember that one or not.
I am not. I am still in Rob's doghouse, dude. I am. Rob has like sent me to wild eye hell. I'm not getting anything from Rob anymore. Even though I'm still putting on his people and helping sell his movies, I'm still in the doghouse. Because you know what it was, don't you? Because I poked fun of American Scarecrow.
It was the whole.
There's
It's
no
been ever since
scarecrow.
the Scarecrow.
There's no scarecrow in the movie. That's all I pointed out was like, there's no scarecrow. I want to see a scarecrow. Now, Jeff was cool enough. He said, yes, there is a scarecrow in Scarecrow County.
I think that traumatized you with Wild Eye movies. You like the title, you're like, no, Scarecrow. What is wrong with me?
Yeah, like I know you got a spare copy of Scarecrow County, don't you?
No, I don't have it yet. I was going to see it at work if it came in this week or whatever. Sometimes we get those movies.
Man, Scarecrow County sounds right up my alley. I am going to actually be buying a Wild Eye movie. I probably will end up be buying through their website. I'll probably be buying Cat Sick Blues.
Mm-hmm. That is a wild one.
Yeah, I know. Hobbs, for some reason, Hobbs always thinks that it's like, I don't know if you can handle that. I'm like, Hobbs, just because I don't really, it's like that line in Quigley Down Under. Just because I don't watch Extreme doesn't mean I don't know it. It means I've watched a lot worse than you think, a lot worse. And I've dropped hints on what I've watched and where I watched.
I think he's saying that because of the whole cat scene and stuff, the actual cat.
Well, let me tell you, there's nothing in the movie that's ever gonna faze me. Well, except for that, I have to admit, that's the scene from I Spit on Your Grave, the first one. Yeah, that's just some bullshit. Sorry. Yeah. So you got 24th. You got the
Daniel Everett Taylor. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I didn't even know that. I had not seen you post anything in my groups. I haven't seen you post anything in your groups.
Yeah, he's posted on my group. I guess I'll have to share him out some more. Yeah.
You have to share them out. Please do.
Usually the week before I'll post it out more again. Well, I might just repost my next ones anyway, just to refresh to get them out there. So, no one yet on the 31st. So it's probably just gonna be. I'll pick a topic for the 31st probably. So,
okay.
Unless anything happens, I've reached out to a couple people, but no response. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's convention season, man. It's convention season. It's gonna be really tough for the next couple of months to get anybody. I mean,
but luckily
but I like the guests who you're getting. The guests that you're getting for your show, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly that'll be fun.
And of course, the first Saturday in August, Debbie Rashawn. So that'll be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to like sell your soul for that. You know that, right? You're gonna have to sell your soul to promote that.
Okay.
I just let you know that the cheetah likes Temptations turkey. I'm just not saying anything other than that. If you happen to get a couple bags of Temptation turkey, that he probably wanted to go balls out and promote your David Roshan show. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying you have to do it or anything. I'm just suggesting subliminally that
little messaging.
I absolutely love Debbie Roshan. I will help you promote that. I love Debbie. Yeah,
well,
I might actually mark out and ask to actually co-host that with you.
I was going to say, I know you had mentioned her before. You're welcome to come on that night. So.
Yeah, I'm probably going to co-host on that. I'll be honest with you. I was going to ask you if you let me come up for that, but I didn't know.
Let you
but Steven, if you got co-host before that, go with your co-host. Seriously, just have your co-host go on there because you need to build it up. Mm-hmm. So if you find 2-3 guys you're doing the show, please by all means take them up.
Mm.
But if you're in a pinch, like if you're in a pinch, something Justin doesn't show up, or tech problems or whatever, I will be here in the bullpen. I will help you out. Yeah, and I'm still going to promote the show. Debbie Rochon is like, okay. So here's put it this way. Okay, so here's Danielle Harris, right? Here's Danielle Harris, right? Debbie Rochon is like, oh my God, have you not looked at her credits?
Yeah.
Debbie Rochon is a queen.
Yeah.
She is like the original. If you looked at the original Scream Queen, it ain't Jamie Lee Curtis. It's Debbie Rochon. Debbie Rochon, Brink Stevens, Tiffany Shepis.
Yeah.
It's just like they're just iconic.
Yeah.
Denise Duff in a smaller sense of the word. Then Barbara Crampton. I mean, they're all there. I mean, just like Amy Steele. It's just like those are just like icons. That's how I feel. I don't know. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis did some horror films, but she got, she was looking to get out of them early. She saw them as a stepping stone, and
Right.
it wasn't until later she got older and she started appreciating what basically, quite honestly, those same fans are the ones that really kept her name in the public's eye.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have kept her up and running, because I mean, if you really look back at her career, a lot of these, actually, to tell you the truth, a lot of horror actors. I mean, they may do regular mainstream movies, but those people who watch those mainstream movies, they're not the ones beating on the table and sitting talking about them. Like, I mean, I love Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places, but how many people really ever talk about Trading Places, even though it's an awesome movie? But how many people could talk about that versus the horror movies, Terror Train, Prom Night, all the Halloween movies? I mean, it's just like horror fans are fanatical for that. They will keep your name in the public's eye if you treat them fairly. I mean, that's the reason why so many of these great actors are still viable and still important, is because of the fans. They come out. I wrote a comic book. I want to buy it, and they will. When they go to conventions, I got a new book I wrote. Hook me up with 20 copies. That's how the horror fans are. So, who else showed up? I totally ignored your chat. I hope I didn't overlook anything.
No. Josh, I mean, I guess looks like there might be a couple people watching, but I guess they haven't said anything. I guess they're more watchers than talkers. So
okay, lurkers are views.
Yeah, appreciate you watching. I hope you're enjoying it. I mean, feel free to ask anything or let us know what you've been up to.
Yep. It's 9:01. Do you want to go ahead and, I mean, are you going to keep going, or?
I think I will go ahead and just end it here. Nothing else much going on. Who do you have coming up on your stuff, if you want to go ahead and throw it out?
Oh, as a matter of fact, let me grab my calendar.
Mine's upstairs.
I got mine right here. So see, tomorrow night on the midnight hour, we are going to do the Chubby Bunny Challenge on the 4th of July. I hope people come up and do that. I know I got marshmallows. I'm doing it. So I don't know anybody else is doing it. We're also doing July for Jen, for Jennifer Tochi, who lost a lot of her movies in a flood. Ooh. So tomorrow night, we're going to be talking to people, asking them to donate some movies to Jennifer Tochi to help rebuild her collection. So that's what we're doing tomorrow night. That's on my channel, by the way. Hobbs will be joining us. I do believe the Spices will be joining us. This Tuesday at 12 noon special time. I'm doing a live interview with actress Kelly Goody from the Baylock Residence, a Wild Eye movie. I'm stealing your thunder. I'm stealing all the Wild Eye connections. That'll be at noon. Kelly Goody. And then on July 8th, I got Bill Levy, who's a writer and a TV Western historian. He's written a couple of books, including a book about John Ford and the stock company, which is why I sounded so smart when I was talking about that earlier. Thanks to Bill Levy, I don't look like a dunce. And then I'll do one more week, and then on the 13th I have Mike Ferguson, tough guy Mike Ferguson, who is finding some new fans. He's doing this character named Mike the Bounty Hunter on I guess on a popular YouTube channel. I don't know who the YouTuber is, but I know Mike's doing some skits for him, and they're absolutely hysterical. Then on the 14th, my old buddy from back home, Jimmy Arsenault, he's a guitarist and a talent buyer, and he's got more stories about music than people got CDs. And then on the 15th, which is the big day for me that week, I have at 2:00, I have Courtney Gaines from the Children of the Corn. He's doing some new movies. He's doing Queen Bees. He has a appearance in Queen Bees, and he also has a new movie coming out in July this month called River. And then that night at 8:00, I have Hannah Fierman from VHS. She played Lily, the succubus. She played on VHS, and then she did the spinoff movie called Siren.
Nice.
So, yes, I'm very happy. That is a Grail interview for me. If someone would have said, here's 100 people you could interview between now and when you kick the mortal coil, Hannah Fierman would have made that list. I am looking forward to meeting her and talking with her.
Siren was awesome. I love that movie.
Oh, I still use that line today. I use that line. I like you. And say just like that. I like
you.
I like you. It's like, really?
So when she comes up, you're like,
you know, it's funny. I've watched her on some of her conventions, and like she has all the little autographs and stuff for all the kids, and she says that. She says, "I like you" on there. I'm just like, oh, that would just creep me out. It just was like, it's just like, ooh. And of course, I'm gonna have her say it. It's like.
Of course, gotta have her say.
I gotta have her say it right. It's gonna have to be like, I don't know. I'm gonna do it at the very end of the interview.
Just get it out of the way, like human.
No, I'm gonna do it at the end of the interview. I want Hannah to have a great time. I want her to be in a really good mood. So when she says that she likes me, she might really mean that she likes me. And
after she talks to you first, not first.
Do you think I should have the cheetah though with me, like petting the cheetah before I ever say that? Like, I like you. But I like not so much. But not so much the cheetah.
Exactly. But I like the cheetah for.
Because it's like they're making a new VHS movie, VHS 94. All I gotta say is, you know what? They better bring her damn back. They have to bring her back.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I actually mentioned that. I think on the Werewolf and Vampire Night.
I don't want to typecast her by any means. I mean, that's terrible. But at the same time, we miss her. I want to see her.
I want to see more of her character. Yeah.
I have to go look up. I have to go. You know what? She's made some really interesting choices with her career. She's done a lot of films, but a lot of them are just like I don't know. They're really independent. I have not seen her do anything. I don't think really a commercial until the Creep Show. She was just on this season of the Creep Show. She did an episode. A Creep Show.
Which episode? I watched them. I'm trying to remember which one she was in.
Let's see. If you go to the International Movie Database page,
how
you type in their names.
Yeah, it'll.
All you have to do for her is just type in "I like you" and it'll take you right to your page.
Really, just "I like you" and it comes up.
Just type in "I like you" and it'll take you right to her page.
I like.
Okay. And you know what's funny too is she is so pretty. She's got her eyes really, that's what she's really known for in the movies. But she's got some of the prettiest eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Where is that? Creep Show. She is in the episode Night of the Living Late Show. And she is playing Countess Petrokia.
That's why she looks so friendly. That was the one with Justin Long where he had that 3D immerse and he went into the midnight movie. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Greg Nicotero directed that.
Yeah. I knew that cast looked familiar, and when I was watching it, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, I know her from VHS. But just when we were talking, I forgot that was her. I wasn't thinking, but then you brought up the title. I'm like, I remember that one now. Yep.
See, now
That,
Greg Nicotero, if I'm not mistaken, special effects, I want to say he did, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I did. Okay. Oh God, I wanted to say, okay, I was wrong. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. I want to say, I thought he did, damn, I thought he did, I thought Nicotero did, Star Wars Troopers, Starship Troopers, but I guess not. Damn. Okay.
Starship Troopers? What you mean with the giant bugs? That's
I
Starship.
thought he did the, yeah, I thought he did the effects on that.
I don't think
I guess
so.
not. Okay. But yeah, but he directed the Creep Show the Creep Show movie, the Creep Show episode. I hope
Okay.
it's good. I hope Justin Long did a good job.
Oh yeah,
Justin Long, just
it was a
lately,
good episode. I liked it.
it's just lately. It's just like I've watched him in a few things lately, and it's just like I don't know. It's just I'm having a hard time. One movie he did for IFC, and it was a great 2/3 of the movie, and then it just crashed and burned in the last third. And it's just like I was like, what the hell? Because I'm always used to him being so strong.
Right. Yeah.
He just crashed and burned, and then after that, I saw like a couple other movies, and he just didn't seem really engaged as much as I remembered him. But I like Justin Long. I think he's a really good actor.
It was funny when I met him. There was a person in front of me, and I was next in line, so like I could hear their conversation. Like he could, uh, talk to me or whatever. And he was trying to guess the guy's name. He goes, "I'm going to guess your name. Is it Steven?" And he was like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, actually, that's me." He's like, "Oh, am I really?" And I'm like, "Yep." So that was kind of funny because I should have waited one person. He's like, "I knew there was like a Steven in the vicinity." Um,
I have to see some of his movies. I've got a lot. I got The Wave. I got The Wave. What else have I gotten of his? I've gotten that.
What's he done recently besides The Wave? I'm gonna look him up real quick and see.
Let's see what I know. He did Red States, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Did he do Red State? I know he did Tusk.
Yeah, Tusk was a good one.
A Case of You is the one I watched that I was like really like, wow, how did that crash and burn? Because and I saw Best Man Down, and actually he seemed a little shrill in that too. I don't know. I love the movie. I like the movie quite a bit. That
Jay
was
and Silent Bob reboot. He was their lawyer.
let's see.
Oh, he was on the Connors a couple episodes. Did not know that.
No, I didn't know that either. And he's in Serious Moonlight. I have that movie. But Justin Long, actually, he gave me one of the best moments in horror. The end in Jeepers Creepers. That is unforgettable. That is a freaking disturbing ending.
Yeah.
That is one of the best endings of any horror film. Is the end of Jeepers Creepers. I fight me on that. Fight me. Tell me another. Top 20. Definitely top 20 endings. I say push it and push for one top 10. That ending at that first movie is just freaking just wrong. It's just wrong.
Yeah, I was like,
you come in, you hear him yelling, and then you think he's gonna be like, think he's gonna be fighting or whatever. Next thing you know, you just walk in and see he's dead, and then he peers, and the creature peers through his head, and this is like, damn, that's just not right. All right, so 9:12, we should push out of here. So yeah. So
I got to work tomorrow, and I'm just gonna get my clothes out of the dryer. I might grab a little snack before I go to bed or something, and that's it. So.
All right, this was.
But I'll message you though in a minute, though, because I was gonna talk to you for a minute. So yeah, but
sure, you can talk to me when I leave. I mean, I will stay online, and then
yeah.
Yep. Okay. Here I go.
All right, later. I'm it.